Welcome to the Turn One Studio podcast. I'm Elliot Custodio of Turn One Studio, and here we meet with business professionals we know and admire. Today's guest is Mollie Barnett, an AI-Driven Growth Strategist. Mollie, welcome.
Thanks so much, Elliot. Thanks for having me today, and I love your studio.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. First things first, what is an AI-Driven Growth Strategist?
Well, a growth strategist is always what I've been. I go and I help different businesses determine the formulas that they need to figure the value and where they're getting their value out of their marketing. So that might be customer acquisition, lifetime value. You look at the total picture of a business and what they're doing that's actually giving them more profit and better bottom lines. Those are not just KPIs. A lot of KPIs are what we call vanity metrics.
Okay.
So
what's an example of a vanity metric?
Sometimes engagement.
How many clicks on a social post?
Clicks.
Yeah.
Sometimes engagement doesn't always necessarily lead to business. Mm-hmm. Many times your open rates aren't actually, they're meaningless. Many times now we have AI that actually opens your emails. We have AI that clicks on your links. We have a lot of different metrics that don't necessarily lead to a sale.
Okay.
So we want to make sure that what we're doing actually leads to a sale. The funnel started to get flattened. We know that customers come to you at any time in the funnel. They might be coming to your website and ready to buy right away. They might need more time. We have no idea why a customer is visiting you, when a customer is visiting you, and at what time they're ready to buy. So we want to look at different customers, who's more profitable, when we want to engage with them, and how we want to engage with them. And so we look at a whole host of different values and integrate them into your business formula. AI is sort of an engine, to use your favorite terminology, on the back of what we do, and it helps you scale faster and understand the different efficiency.
Okay, so, and before I forget, Mollie's company is the Smart Company, and a differentiator for you is that you're leveraging AI in the things that you do. So is this just AI for what you need to do, or is it also AI for the company that you're introducing to them?
Oh, no, it's AI for the company.
Okay.
And, of course, what I need to do. AI is an ecosystem. It's not just a singular tactic. Mm-hmm. So basically, the entire digital landscape has turned into AI. It's one of the reasons I got into it was I was looking at SEO and search engine marketing and watching as everyone was complaining about how their metrics were falling off. Mm-hmm. And I saw a lot of people saying that they were going to either get rid of their website a couple of years ago or get rid of their search engine optimization expert. And search engine optimization experts were saying they were doing everything they possibly could, but what was actually happening was that they were changing the backbone of these search engines into what's called a large language module or an LLM. And also user intent. I mean, why do we go on the internet, right?
That's how they're using AI in search engine search, right? To try to determine the intent behind your search, not just a keyword match.
Well, actually, the whole backbone has changed so that it used to be algorithm based. So when a user would go into the internet, they would type in what they were searching for, and it would work by keyword. So it would look for different keywords, and that's how websites were found, and it would draw it back in. But now it works based on the machine learning and then the deep learning, which is part of your artificial intelligence, and it will generate and pull an answer, not necessarily a website. So it's answering the question of the user and not necessarily drawing up a website.
Right.
And so obviously people are upset by that because for business owners, that was an ancillary benefit to business owners, and it actually formulated an entire cottage industry, meaning the search engine.
Right, the SEO space,
marketers. But now we don't have that. So they're trying to balance those two things together because it was such an important part of business. But I was watching that, and from there it developed into, oh my God, I really need to learn AI. And I spent 100+ hours getting my Microsoft certification and learning all the things it does, which
Right.
is it basically does everything from monitor supply chain to optimize efficiency to help you with your content marketing. It's something that gets integrated into every point of service.
Sure.
So
is it safe to say part of the I don't want to say the issue, but the issue with the effectiveness of SEO and search engines is inclusive of people using AI to search, as opposed to going to google.com, they're going to ChatGPT and asking the AI
oh yes.
their search.
Well, each search engine is handling things differently, right? Yes, some people want to, the intent of search engines or searching is to find the answer to the question, right? And so what do each one of these search engines or artificial intelligence want to be? And artificial intelligence was designed to find the answer. And originally, that's what Google, or Lycos, if you remember Lycos, go get it, right? That's what it was supposed to be initially. Okay. And I think initially Google had an issue with, what do I want to be? Am I a search engine, or am I a help for business owners? And they were sort of having a balancing act. And I think they've settled on the fact that they seem to want to be more of an AI power. But you do see search within AI as well. And so I think they will all sort of find that balance as to whether or not we're looking for a business or looking for an answer, depending on what the user wants. So everything comes down to user experience. And where you're going to get the most benefit is answering that problem as a solution in your website,
right,
or in your content.
So how do you see AI? So obviously I'm going to look at this through the lens of a marketer, right? Because that's what I do. So what I'm hearing is, you mentioned funnel before, but if we put a funnel aside and look at this in terms of a buyer's journey, if I'm getting answers to questions I'm asking, or it believes I'm asking, it's making the assumption that I'm trying to find an answer to my problem, versus finding someone who could answer my problem or solve my problem, right? So that, to me, in a buyer's journey perspective, is earlier on in the journey. I recognize I have a problem. Let me start researching what that problem is and what potential solutions to that problem are, and then I move on to finding someone to provide those solutions. Getting to that next step in the buyer's journey, how does AI, in a practical sense, handle that? Does it still bring you website search results in order to present viable personnel options to solve it? It
can, but it tends to be more goal-oriented than that, so it will bring you to the answer faster.
But wouldn't that answer, in at least in this example that we're talking about, result in you doing it yourself?
Well, here's a good example. My water heater broke. Obviously, I'm not a plumber. Right? So I could open up my telephone and talk to my AI, who, if anybody who's taken my workshop knows, I call Steve. I was able to open up my phone.
I've met Steve.
Yes, you've met Steve. I've opened up my phone, and I was able to use my AR, so augmented reality, and use my phone to show Steve my pilot light. That's where he directed me to, and we talked about that it was not lit, and he said I could light it myself if I wanted to, but it might be dangerous, and that there were plumbers that could do this or help me with this, right? So it said, but this is a dangerous thing. Would you like me to suggest plumbers in the area?
Excellent.
So basically, at that point, it gave me the answer, gave me solutions. So it's, again, goal-oriented. I'm having a problem. It was able to help me solve my problem, and it told me that there were solutions in the area.
So the AI needed to be taught not only what the solution to that problem was, but also available service providers to offer that to you as well.
It has some localized solutions in it. It does know, yes. So it will search based on those different things. It depends on the problem. It's oriented to it's very goal-oriented. It knows where I am. It knew what the problem was.
Right.
It knew there were several different solutions and what is the solution to that problem. In this case, it was localized. I want to be clear on that. So
Right. But I think that's great.
Yes.
And so the question I'm leading towards is, if SEO in concept, because there's no silver bullet, in
Right.
concept, if SEO was to raise your rank or better your position in a more traditional algorithmic-based search engine search, how does one endear themselves website-wise to AI to better yourself or raise your rank, for lack of a better word, in those results?
Well, there's a lot of different ways you can do this, and that is making sure your content AI-friendly. And there are different ways.
And that there's content to begin with.
Right. There has to be content that solves a problem for the user.
Right.
So when you're writing your content, it needs to be AI-based.
So in your example, if people had content where they write about solving a pilot light issue on a water heater,
Right.
they're bettering their chance of showing up because they taught the AI this solution and they're the source of that.
Yes. And it's not necessarily just, you don't have to necessarily teach the AI, but if you have a blog, that would be one
Right.
great way to do that. We have, here's how John Plummer solves pilot light issues, and we're here for you if your pilot light goes out. Or if your pilot light goes out, don't try to solve the issue yourself.
Yeah.
Those sorts of things will show up as an answer. And so your website or your service might show up, and the AI will look and say, okay, this particular service is in your area.
That's cool.
And it wants to see it more. So if it sees John the plumber has written about that, say on Reddit, on the blog,
Right.
on Facebook.
Is it taking reviews into account?
It does take reviews into account. Reviews
Cool.
are a big deal. Definitely, Google reviews are a big deal. It does take some parts of the algorithm and some keywords into effect, so it hasn't left the algorithm altogether. But that is just one instance of how, and there are some meta tags and some leftovers from traditional SEO still in the way it does search.
Right.
So it hasn't abandoned it completely, but that is just one way it has affected our traditional marketing.
So I want to get pseudo nerdy for a second. And I put it that way because maybe I have no idea what I'm talking about. But I guess what I'm asking for clarification on is if the AI has a chunk of knowledge that it got from the chunk of knowledge that, using Google as an example, that Google's amassed over time, I guess the AI has to have a certain understanding of their algorithmic formula to understand how those results got to be those results?
It does. AI.
In other words, it's not grabbing from the bottom of the pile of data and bringing some obscure website up as a result.
Yeah, it's trained on, it's trained on social media. It's trained on the web. It's trained on papers. It's looking for location. It's looking for the most probable solution. So it looks at all of those things together, and it does it in a hyper-fast way, and it looks for the most logical solution for you.
Right,
in
okay.
particular. So it's probably geolocating you. It's probably, so for example, let's take another example. You're looking for a new shade of paint to paint your office, your new office, which I'm so excited to celebrate with you. So it might say a great shade to match your office that wouldn't interfere with your lights would be eggshell white, and it's available at Lowe's, which is nearby,
Yeah.
Home Depot, which is nearby, and it's on sale here because it's Easter week or whatever. And those different things would come up. And it has 2 gallons in aisle 50 here, and at Walmart it's here. So it would be able to geolocate based on you and your telephone and your mobile phone and all of that. So it's able to give you the best solution based on
Right.
all the context surrounding it.
So if I'm a viewer of this podcast and I'm watching you talk about this stuff and I'm saying, Mollie knows what she's talking about. As a business owner or operator, why am I going to reach out to you? What can you do for my business and help me understand to move the ball forward?
To move the ball forward. So basically, how I help business owners is the first thing business owners are having a hard time with is adoption. I help business owners understand how to use AI first so that they feel comfortable with it. And then I look at their business and I can help them audit their business, whether it's a large business or a small business, and how to adopt it, feel comfortable using it, because it's very easy to use. It's a lot easier than the internet.
Right, and that's knowledge share with the team, obviously.
Yes, knowledge share with the team, learn how to use it in your day-to-day, learn how it can help you save time from just your different basic things from contract writing to whatnot, to see how it can create better value in your company. So whether it's social media posts, writing contracts, helping you with your emails, helping you update your website, helping you write bills, do the repetitive tasks, be more efficient, talk in a different language to your different customers. It looks at different ways to be more efficient, more effective, target your market, and we just take baby steps. So you take AI sort of, it's like eating an elephant one bite at a time, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And to get more comfortable with it. And everyday AI, and most importantly, to stay safe.
I was going to say, I think one of the, from what I've learned about your business, what you can teach us that we don't know is great. What you could teach us of the things we should avoid is almost more important, right? I'd rather, as a business owner, I'd rather see my growth slow but steady than rush to something and wind up taking 3 steps back because I fumbled, especially with something as, I don't want to say new, but new and, to use your word from before, nebulous.
Yes.
Pre-podcast word from before. Something as nebulous as AI, right? It's constantly evolving, and not that I would run my business from a position of fear, but we all should be wary about the pitfalls, right?
Right. And one of the things I want all business owners to know is that A, they should adopt, but B, they should adopt safely. So
Yes.
It's really important to adopt. Everyone needs to get on board now. We're 1 year into this. The big businesses, and when I say big businesses, and when you're looking at Gartner studies, when you're looking at McKinsey studies, when you're looking at Stanford studies, you're looking at the global studies. They're not talking to you. Mm-hmm. They're talking to somebody 200 plus.
Right.
And 200 they're considering a small business. Those studies are not meant for you. And those people have people on top of people on top of people to train everybody and make sure they're safe and make sure they're online and make sure they're doing it right. You need to get on board now because we're entering what's called the agentic state, which means this AI can predict, run, be efficient, and do all these things. We need to get on board, but we need to get on board safely. What I'm seeing is a lot of tools out there. When I say tools, it's not the AI system, it's tools built off and ancillary to the AI systems. The tools are great. You see it, they say, who wants this tool that can run your voice and your chat bots and sell for you and do all this? Comment in the LinkedIn profile now. And everyone says, oh, I want it, comment, yay, me. And it's not safe, and it could destroy your LinkedIn sales navigator. It could kick you off LinkedIn. It could, you could have copyright issues. You could have legal issues. You are responsible for that. You could have lawsuits. You could.
Yeah, I think to support what you're saying, I think a big reason to get started now is that you don't know what you don't know, and you learn in time. Learning is an evolution. So 2 examples come to mind. One was, just going back a few years, cryptocurrency was super hot.
Right.
And there were a lot of, it's funny when
Coming back, though, I think.
It is.
Yeah.
Well,
I learned about cryptocurrency from AI because I didn't understand it at all.
Well, see, here's the thing, and this happens with everything, especially when it comes to things in the news or politics or whatever. Some people are very binary, if that's if I'm describing them correctly by using that word, meaning that sometimes something happens and, oh man, the whole world changed and now we're this. I saw it with certain people when it came to crypto. All of a sudden, fiat currency is garbage and crypto was going to solve everything. And then you had people adopting it, you had people abusing it.
Right.
As time went on, it kind of settled. Is crypto still a thing? Yeah, it is. And a lot of the garbage coins kind of went to the wayside. People, the meme coins in particular, a lot of the people kind of figured that out, that wasn't the move and whatever. We didn't know what we didn't know at the time. And as time has gone on, crypto has found a place, even though that is still evolving.
Right.
Going back even farther, the tech bubble of the early 2000s, you had people that saw what they believed to be the commercial viability of the internet and how that could be a thing. And people rushed to throw money at so many different startups. Their heart was in the right place, but they didn't know what they didn't know then. And a lot of people invested in things that just really were never going to be a real business, and they could not have known that at the time. Time had to pass. The world had our culture had to shake this stuff out and figure out what it could be. And you had people that survived that, like Google for search, like Amazon for e-commerce, etc. I feel like we're in this phase when it comes to AI. And the sooner we get involved, the sooner we learn, to your point, how it affects us and our company, so that even though we may be using it to execute things today, we may not be doing those things tomorrow the same way. But it's only because we started this way today and then we evolved. Is that fair?
Yes and no. I think that the interesting part about AI, as opposed to those other things, is you said you don't know what you don't know. But the best part, if you take three things away from this podcast, one, you can use AI to ask it anything. It democratizes knowledge. Once you learn how to prompt it, you will learn, and you'll learn about cryptocurrency.
Right, but that's the part we don't know. We don't know yet.
That's the part you don't know that you don't know. Exactly. Yeah. So the things I never knew before, I'm able to research better once you understand how to prompt and learn with it. And even if it hallucinates and says the wrong thing, you can actually force it into the corner, into a box where it has to either tell you or you can move. It'll say, "I can't answer that."
You could be the checks and balances.
I can't lie to you, Molly. It basically tells you. It's sort of you've boxed it into a corner where it's not. It can't dialectically reason its way out of it. You can either move on to another AI and check it against it, and that's really interesting. So once you learn how to use it, you're able to learn all of these other things. Like, why is that? You have to ask the right question. So that's what I teach my clients, is how to ask the right question, how to learn about financial things, how to take a snapshot of a financial chart or statistics on the, and understand them on a macro level, on a micro level, on a whatever, and now you understand everything that you never understood before. Maybe you don't understand that legal paper somebody just sent you, or the charts or the KPIs from your marketing company, or anything. Now you understand it.
Yeah.
Nobody can hide it.
That's powerful.
It's extraordinarily powerful, and you're no longer going to be bamboozled by anything anymore. And it's such a powerful tool for everybody.
Yeah.
And it tells you then, now ask the next right question. Ask the right question.
If you understand, it could be a dialogue and not just a one-way.
It's a dialogue.
Yeah.
I was journaling with it the other day, and people who know me personally know my husband has a disability, and we're having some issues getting the right medical care. And I said, I'm just going to journal into you about this, because I didn't have time to actually write a journal. And it told me that they're patient advocates, even if you have workman's comp. I had no idea.
Look at that.
It's a bilateral engagement. So all of a sudden, my journal that I would normally have written in a notebook became a bilateral solution for me.
Right. That's amazing.
All of a sudden, it's giving me answers, that I would have never had before.
I don't want to forget, before we wrap up, I want to know what you like to do for fun. I'm sure the answer is AI, but I like to ask everyone what they like to do for
Lately
fun.
It has been AI for fun. What do I like to? I go to the beach with my dogs. I have
Okay.
two dogs. I love my dog. My dog goes down to Robert Moses and or to the Hamptons, and my dog should have been a male dog. A male. He should have had a male owner because he picks up the quahog seashells. You know, the big ones. The big clamshells.
Oh, really?
And he gives them to girls in bikinis.
Okay.
He's a player. What can I say? So everybody wants to borrow my dog.
That is funny.
But that's that, and I garden.
And you garden. Very nice. So for those who want to get in contact with you, what's the best way?
Mollie at thesmartco.net, and I'm on LinkedIn. So Mollie Barnett on LinkedIn.
And your web address?
www.thesmartco.net.
Excellent. Obviously, I could talk to you about this all day long.
I love to talk about it. So anybody, I'm an open book.
If you have any questions, reach out to Mollie. Mollie, thank you for coming. This is fantastic.
Awesome.
Good job.
Congratulations. I love this office. It's
Thank you.
beautiful.
Thank you.